Yo he estado aquí. Ella ha sido mi amiga. Creo que hay algo aquí. How are you supposed to understand these tiny words? Welcome back to our Top 10 series, where I show you how to use the top 10 forms of the most common Spanish verbs. Today we're going to work on the verb haber, which roughly means to have. And yes, this is a super irregular verb with some really unusual tricks for using it. But with a few quick hacks, you can conquer this. Let's dive in. Let's start with just a list of the top 10 forms of haber. We chose these words based on a frequency analysis of Spanish spoken by native Spanish speakers. According to this analysis, there are about 500 words that make up over 67% of all words spoken in Spanish. And that list of 500 words includes only 10 forms of haber. Those 10 forms include 6 present tense forms, a past tense form, the infinitive, and 2 subjunctive forms. Don't worry, today we're just going to focus on the 6 present tense conjugations. We'll tackle the rest in part 2, which will be our next video. Let's dive in and start practicing haber. But in order to practice using this, we have to use other verbs along with haber. And that might sound confusing, but the good news is you already know how to do this because it works the exact same way in English. Check out this English sentence. I have been here. So here's the question. What does the word have mean here? We aren't using this word to mean that we have something. Instead, we're using have as a helping verb, meaning that it's helping the other verb, been. The important word that has meaning in this sentence is been, which comes from the verb to be. We're just using the word have to put be in the past. The same thing happens in Spanish. So here's how you'd say this sentence. Yo he estado aquí. So we use the word he, which means have, as in I have. Then we use the word estado, which comes from the verb estar, our verb for being somewhere. What I'm saying is that I have been somewhere, and we're just using the word for have, or he, to help say that. Here's another example, and we're going to change it from I have to she has. She has been here. Ella ha estado aquí. So as you can see, in English, we changed the word from have to has because we changed what person we're talking about. In Spanish, we had to change it from he, which is the word for I have, to a, which is the word for he or she has. Here's another example. My friend has done that. Mi amigo ha hecho eso. So for this one, we use the word hecho, which means done. This comes from the verb hacer, our verb for to do. So we're using haber to put hacer in the past. Here are a couple more examples. He has done that. Él ha hecho eso. I have done those things. Yo he hecho esas cosas. Now check out what happened in that last example. When I said he hecho, the words kind of blended together. So it just kind of sounded like yo he hecho. It's like the word he disappeared. That's totally normal in Spanish, and you'll actually get used to identifying this if you keep practicing using a and e before these words like hecho and estado. So let's get some practice with this right now. I'm going to give you some English sentences, and you should try to guess how to fill in the blanks in Spanish. We'll use examples of he, ha, hecho, and estado. Try to predict the Spanish. All right, first example. I have done that many times. Yo he hecho eso muchas veces. He has done that. Él ha hecho eso. I have been there once. Yo he estado allí una vez. My friend has been here. Mi amigo ha estado aquí. All right, so now that we've looked at how haber works as a helping verb, we need to clear up a common source of confusion for Spanish learners. In English, we use the word have in multiple different ways. For example, I have done that. I have a dog. Both of these use the word have, but in Spanish, we translate them completely differently. In I have done that, have is a helping verb. We're using it to put done in the past. So this becomes Yo he hecho eso. But in I have a dog, have means to possess something. So we'll use a totally different verb, the verb tener. Yo tengo un perro. So even though both of the English sentences use I have, in Spanish you treat them as two totally different verbs. Here are a couple more examples, and we'll use she has. She has done that. Ella ha hecho eso. She has those things. Ella tiene esas cosas. And if you want to dive into the verb tener, you can check out this other video. For now, let's get some practice choosing between these two verbs. I'll give you some English sentences, and you should predict whether you'll use haber or tener in each of them. I have been there. Yo he estado allí. I have a friend there. Yo tengo un amigo allí. He has two brothers. Él tiene dos hermanos. He has done that. Él ha hecho eso. She has two dogs. Ella tiene dos perros. These might feel tricky, but it will become automatic over time if you keep practicing switching between tener and haber. Alright, let's keep going and learn some more conjugations of haber. So far, we know how to say I have, which is yo he, and he or she has, which is él or ella ha. Next, let's add you have, which is tú has. They have, which is ellos han. And we have, which is nosotros hemos. Here are some examples. You have done that. Tú has hecho eso. They have been here. Ellos han estado aquí. We have been at home. Nosotros hemos estado en casa. And I know these all are very similar to each other, but if you need help keeping these straight, here's a quick trick. Pause the video and write out a little list like this. I have, he or she has, you have, they have, we have. And then see if you can write the correct conjugations from memory. Alright, if you got those straight, let's get some practice with them. Try to predict the right one in each of these sentences. You have been there. Tú has estado allí. They have done all the work. Ellos han hecho todo el trabajo. She has been in Mexico. Ella ha estado en México. We have done this many times. Nosotros hemos hecho esto muchas veces. Okay, so now we've covered 5 present tense forms of haber. But haber actually has another present tense form that's used in a totally different way. And this is really weird. So if you've watched any of our other videos about verbs, you probably remember that most verbs in Spanish have 5 standard present tense forms, and each one refers to a different person. So I versus he or she versus you versus they versus we. But haber has a different form, and it makes it unlike any other verb in Spanish. This is the word I. I doesn't refer to any person in particular, and it also isn't used along with other verbs to put something in the past. Instead, it means something totally different. The word I means there is or there are. Here are a couple of examples. There is someone in my house. Hay alguien en mi casa. There are many things here. Hay muchas cosas aquí. So hang on a second. If this word is used in a totally different way from the other things we've learned, then why is it considered a conjugation of haber at all? It seems totally unrelated. Well, there is a reason that I is considered a form of haber, as you'll see in part 2 in the next video. For now, let's just work on I and explore how to use it. So let's look at these 2 sentences again. There is someone in my house. Hay alguien en mi casa. There are many things here. Hay muchas cosas aquí. In English, when we say things like there is or there are, what do we actually mean by that? We're not really talking about where something is so much as the fact that it exists. So we're emphasizing that something exists, and that's exactly what hay means in Spanish. It's the word you use to say that something exists in a particular place. Here are a couple more examples. There is something else here. Hay algo más aquí. There are many people in the world. Hay muchas personas en el mundo. If you want to dive deeper into how the word hay works and some of the weird things that it does in other tenses, check out lesson 48 of our free course at SpanishVideoCourse.com. That lesson goes into a lot more detail on why hay is one of the strangest but most useful words in Spanish. For now, let's do a quick quiz on everything we've learned today. Try to predict the right version of haber in each of these sentences. She has done this. Ella ha hecho esto. We have been there. Nosotros hemos estado allí. There are 2 dogs here. Hay 2 perros aquí. They have done that. Ellos han hecho eso. You have done this. Tú has hecho esto. There is a book on the table. Hay un libro en la mesa. She has done that. Ella ha hecho eso. Alright, in our next video, we're going to dive deeper into haber, including the remaining 4 conjugations that'll let us say things like, there was something here, and you had done that. Some people would call these things advanced, but as you'll see, they're super useful and they show up all the time in real-life Spanish conversations. Just subscribe to this channel and you'll see that part 2 video as soon as it comes out. Or if you want to just jump in and start practicing haber in all the different ways that we learned in this video, just go to SpanishVideoCourse.com. This is a free course that'll let you dive deeper into haber and all of its essential conjugations, including with digital flashcards and audio quizzes. SpanishVideoCourse.com is a full system with evidence-based study tools designed to make everything stick. You can dive into haber in lessons 36 and 48 of that course. Meanwhile, subscribe to this channel for haber Part 2, as well as lots more grammar and study hacks that'll get you speaking Spanish fluently faster than ever.